Sports presents St. Luke's Sports Medicine Game of the Week.
Northwestern Lehigh High School Tiger Stadium is site tonight for Colonial League football action. It's our D11sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine. It's a rivalry game for sure. Northern Lehigh Bulldogs with a record of 1-0 taking on the Tigers from Northwestern Lehigh with a record of 1-0. Hi and welcome everyone. Al DeCarlo alongside Matt Evangelist. So glad you could join us here on this Thursday night of football. I know that, Matt, we're going to have a bunch of those. I think there's like 15 games or so. There's 3 tonight alone because of the officiating shortage and everything else. But intriguing matchup, 2 teams that know each other very, very well.
They do. This Mountain Road Rumble that they call it up here, it's a great game that they've had for years. It's that rivalry game. Playing it early in the season on Thursday is such a great thing. It's the start of school year. Everybody has that energy flying. Both teams coming off of big wins last week. I think we're in for a good game.
For Joe Tout, now entering his 19th year. They're coming off a come-from-behind win against Lehigh by a score of 15-14. Grady Newhart had a great game. A junior running back rushed for 22 times. The team as a whole rushed for 50, a $151 and 2 touchdowns.
And that all went into their game plan last week. Coach Tout had told us he felt they could wear down Lehigh and falling behind 14-0. Credit to them and the Bulldogs for sticking to their game plan behind Grady Newhart, behind Chris Frame and that offensive line, and just continue to grind out that win and win in the fourth quarter.
Well, on the other side, for Josh Snyder, now entering his 13th year, they come off a win against Wilson by a score of 47-0. They got to the state championship a year ago. Eli Zimmerman now really, we know what he could do on defense, but offensively he's in the backfield.
And that's what's scary, seeing what he could do last year on offense. And, yes, I had to check the stats. He only touched the ball 4 times in rushing last game for 104 yards. But like Coach Snyder said, it was just a matter of they had a lot of splash plays. They had a lot of those big plays, and they really didn't need to do too much where they grinded out, which is something they want to get to tonight. He said they wanted to move the ball around, look for Eli Zimmerman, look for Mason Bollinger. Both of them look for Shane Lay to put the ball in the air. I think you're going to see a lot more action offensively for Northwestern.
Well, it's Thursday Night Football. It's yours when we come back. It's our D11sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke Sports Medicine.
Many people have remarked about the sideliner medical tents, and that's something that you often won't find at the secondary school level.
It felt like a little bit more like a collegiate or a professional atmosphere with things like HIPAA and making sure that there's privacy for our student athletes when they're being treated. I think it adds an extra layer of that so that our kids can be seen and evaluated without the entire community looking on. And ultimately, if it's something that has to be addressed, it's done privately.
It also provides an opportunity for us to send the message to the community that we're going above and beyond, for our partners in Bethlehem Area School District.
All right, we are back. Northwestern Lehigh against Northern Lehigh, a great matchup between these two teams year in and year out. Last year it was all Northwestern, but this rivalry has been going on for a long time. Tegan Tremba is with us. She is at Parkland, and she joins us today, and she talked to both coaches, and she has her first report. Tegan?
I had a chance to talk to both head coaches tonight. Northwestern Lehigh's head coach said that they have a lot of high expectations on them and a lot of pressure on them after going to the state championship last year. He said that they're a different team, though, this year. He said that they rely on their offense a little more compared to last year. He said that offensively for this game, they're expecting for Northwestern Lehigh, or defensively, they're expecting for Northwestern Lehigh to really run the football and to go for it on 4th down. Northern Lehigh's head coach, Tout, said that that they had a good camp and they're a really young team. He was really excited for this game, and he said they had a lot of confidence after having a big game last week and a big win. and he was really excited for this rivalry game. He said that they would just have to take what the offense or what the defense gives them. Back to you.
All right, Tegan, thanks a lot. As we get ready for this matchup between these two teams and get ready to go, teams start making their way onto the field. And, Matt, you know it as well as I do. As the teams make their way to the field, Tiger Stadium, here in New Tripoli, they pack them in. They enjoy the times here for sure. And we'll see what happens throughout the evening here. St. Luke's is the region's only varsity team in sports medicine. Our team offers most comprehensive and advanced treatment for athletic injuries, including athletic training, sports performance for individual athletes and teams, chiropractic, sports psychology, sports nutrition, physical therapy, and more. St. Luke's provides sports medicine service for almost 60 schools and cares for almost 40,000 student athletes in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, no matter the sport or the position. We can train you to avoid injury and get back on your feet and back in the game. The game is changing, and St. Luke's Medicine is changing it. Tonight's game also brought to you by Digital Scoreboards, your leader in video scoreboard displays. Keep your eye on the game and the score with Digital Scoreboards, where every moment matters. Let's light up Friday night football. Northern Lehigh's made their way onto the field. We'll wait for Northwestern Lehigh to make their way as well. Support for the D11Sports.com Game of the Week comes from Michael R. Glovis, financial advisor at Morgan Stanley in Easton. For all your investment needs, call Michael R. Glovis at 610-559-6380, located at 101 Larry Holmes Drive, Suite 301 in Easton, PA. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. If you're a student from any District 11 school interested in broadcasting, journalism, or photography, check out D11Sports.com. Follow your dream and get close to the action. Take part in our student internship program. For more information, contact your athletic director or reach out to myself or Dave at D11Sports.com. With that, we'll bring in our New York Life keys to the game as we start with Northern Lehigh.
And as we talked about Northern Lehigh running the ball last week, they need to continue to gain that time of possession, control the time of possession. They can't turn the ball over to Northwestern. And on the other side, they cannot defensively allow Northwestern to get those splash plays. They can't allow them to go quickly and score quickly and get their offense up on top. If Northern Lehigh can control the time of possession, they can move methodically down the field and put points on the board, I think they can have some success.
Northwestern makes their way onto the field. Let's take a look at the Northwestern Lehigh Tigers.
And as you said, coming into Northwestern Stadium, this is a tough environment to come play in. And Northwestern takes advantage of that. They're going to play assignment defense. They're going to be on task with what they need to do, what they need to stop, and read their keys. Offensively, just like we said with Northern Lehigh, they need to limit turnovers, and they need to finish drives in the end zone. That was not an issue they had last week. We'll see how that plays out this week with an opponent that's going to bring a little bit more of a fight to them.
Well, for over 175 years, New York Life has been helping families and businesses with their life, disability, and long-term care planning needs. Whether you have current coverage in place or in need of reviewing your options, please contact our office in Allentown to find out the right plan to fit your needs. Call New York Life at 610-616-4430 today as the Tigers make their way onto the football field. And the Tigers sporting that number 53. Tucker Westner was lost way too soon. In July, the community has really come together, and thoughts and prayers with the entire family and the Northwestern Lehigh community. I know the players, are coming together. The coaches, as well. And last week they had a tribute to him, the start of the game, and they came out with that American flag and also for that number 53 flag. So I think it's great as well. So as we look at this matchup tonight, and we talk about the key guys. Joe Tout's been around for a while, right? Josh Snyder's been around for a while. And you look at the two players that we stacked up. You mentioned Eli only had 4 carries last week. But we may see more passing than we did last week from Northern Lehigh because it's a different kind of an opponent.
Exactly. Coach Talent was talking about how he has a 2-platoon offensive and defensive line. So they completely switch out those two. And they felt against Lehighton, they were able to take advantage of that by wearing down Lehighton. Unfortunately, tonight, going against Northwestern, they don't have that same advantage. So while it will be a benefit, they do need to move the ball around to the perimeter. If they're going to key on Chris Frame at the wide receiver spot, they need to get other guys involved.
So Northern Lehigh, 1-0, and under 19th-year head coach Joe Tout. Northwestern Lehigh, 1-0. under 13th year head coach Josh Snyder. Northern Lehigh coming off a win against Lehigh and Josh Snyder over Wilson. Right now we pause and honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Well, minutes away. 7:10 kickoff tonight. When it comes to towing, trailer, or auto body repair, experience matters. Let Ironton Auto Body put their 70-plus years of experience to work for you. Locally owned and operated with 24-hour emergency towing and recovery services, along with 24-hour trailer repair. When something goes wrong, don't trust it to anyone. Look no further than Ironton Auto Body. Let our family take care of your family. Call 610-799-3241. This quarter brought to you by Strategic Benefits One Group in the Lehigh Valley, a premier broker in helping small, medium, and large businesses build competitive employee benefits packages, which include retirement plan services and managing clients locally as well as in more than 12 states. Visit their website at strategicbenefitsonegroup.com. We thank them for their continued dedication and support of D11sports.com. Mike Lagoe and Strategic Benefits One Group. Teams meeting at the middle for the coin toss. So Northern Lehigh has won the toss, and they will receive the football. Our first down sponsor tonight is Stu's Tire Center, located at 3930 Independence Drive in Schnecksville. In need of new tires, a wheel alignment, or an oil change, stop by Stu's Tire Center or give them a call at 610-799-4298. Locally owned since 1981. I want to thank Stu's Tire Center for coming on board once again this year as the rest of our sponsors, and we thank them for all their support. And we get all the particulars out of the way. And, Matt, with that, we get ready to get some football underway on a Thursday night. And speaking of football, last week, Matt, you had an interesting football game. Let's talk about it. By the way, on the way in, Phil Stambaugh is here, and I saw him. You had that game.
Yes, I did.
There were some yards.
So last Friday night, opening night, Notre Dame hosted Garden Spot out of Lancaster, New Holland, PA, and it was a little bit of a track meet. I believe over 1,400 yards of offense combined. Final score was higher than some basketball scores in the Lehigh Valley, 71-64.
Mm-hmm. How did you do?
I did okay. I made it all the way through the game, up and down the sideline.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. And I woke up the next day, so I'm good.
Sore, but you woke up.
Absolutely sore.
All right, Seth Kern has it on the tee. Actually, it's Joshua Wombold has it on the tee. And we are underway as Wombold lets this one fly, and Northern Lehigh will take over. Okay, so they win the toss. Sometimes, you like to defer, but they decide that we need to get the ball, and we need to get that positive yards. Let's take a look at the offense as they come onto the field.
And what Coach Talent and Northern Lehigh, this offense, what they need to do behind Aiden Oswald is just grind out the clock. Get the clock moving. If they start with the ball, obviously Northwestern's offense is not on the field. So behind their offensive line of Kinchin, Klimek, Grady, Novicki, and Coons, they need to control that line of scrimmage and open up some yards for Newhart and the rest of the Bulldogs offense.
So they'll start from the 20. Oswald looked for the quick toss. Nothing there. Here comes the pressure. Now rolls out, gets a great block. Tries to make his way to the outside, and finally he's wrapped up. A bunch of yellow jerseys or gold jerseys coming in his direction.
And as we talked about in the opening, Northwestern wanted to work on being defensively sound. You see it right there opening up. The outside linebacker, Mason Bollinger, does a great job of getting to the outside shoulder of the quarterback, Oswald, and forcing him back inside to the rest of his teammates.
So no gain, a lot of running around side to side, but nothing happened on that play. So we're underway. First play here on a Thursday night. Again, 3 games tonight. And I think there was some movement there. So, Matt, when you're broadcasting now with us, because, you're officiating one day, and you know what? I can't wait till, down the road a little bit, you'll be on the field officiating, and I'll be up here broadcasting.
That is true.
You better be on your game that night.
That is true.
Do you see the game differently now? Are you looking at the officials or are you looking at the game? What are you doing? Are you working? Who are you working for?
I will tell you the hardest thing about being an official is not watching the game. You get so caught up in your eyes want to go back to the play, back to the ball. Where is it? But you have so many other responsibilities that you have to pay attention to. You have to really focus on not watching the ball all the time.
2nd down and 15, and getting stuffed up is Newhart. Not much there for him.
You see that defensive front just eating up the blocks, allowing their linebackers, Northwestern's linebackers, to be active in the middle and getting to stop that ball carrier at the line of scrimmage and really giving no gain at all.
So it brings up 3rd down. And then when you talk to Coach Snyder, he said, they're going to try to get that tempo and just milk the clock as much as they can. We need to put them in 2nd down and 10, 2nd down and 12. Well, they did that, and now it's 3rd down and 15.
Exactly. He did not want them to earn 3-4 yards on 1st down because at that point it becomes an issue where they can just grind out a little bit at a time.
Well, Oswald does release that at the last second, but that defense is swarming.
Credit Oswald for allowing that and just standing in there for that screen pass, allowing the defensive line to collapse on him and allowing Newhart to get into the middle where he dumps a pass to him, able to pick up some yardage, but just, again, nothing there, nothing given up by that Northwestern defense.
So they will punt this one away.
When we talked about Eli Zimmerman, this is a place where he can affect the game outside of playing on offense.
Yeah, punting from his own 3-yard line. Here comes a rush, and Zimmerman's going to field it at the 43, and he was off to the races from the start. And Zimmerman down the sideline and goes in for the touchdown. So 43 yards on the return for Eli Zimmerman, and Northwestern Lehigh has the lead by the score of 6-0.
And you said it perfectly, Al. The way he came up and caught the ball on the run, he nearly runs into Kern, who's waiting to get a block for him, but he allows one guy to just get enough. They make one block on the edge, and then they get the punter, and it's just him the rest of the way to the end zone. These are the special things Eli Zimmerman can do on the football field away from just playing offense. He can score on special teams. He can score on defense. He's a huge weapon for the Tigers.
So Seth Kern, extra point attempt. And that is up and through with 9:25 on the clock, 7-0, Northwestern Lehigh. Matt, it's early in the game. The offensive team has not even come out for Northwestern, and you were at 3 and out, with the penalty. How important is this next possession for this Northern Lehigh team?
I think it's still, like you said, it's still early, but I think there is something that Northern Lehigh has to do. They have to be able to get some ball movement, move the chains a little bit once or twice, at least get the ball, the field position flipped, get it over to the other side, allow their defense to play on the other side of the 50. But like you said, we haven't even seen Northwestern's offense yet. And Coach Snyder expected their offense to be the one who's going to have to carry them in the early part of the season, and they're up 7-0. We haven't even seen them yet.
So Wombold has it on the tee. He'll let this one fly. This is returnable and is picked up at about the 6-yard line. And not much on the return by Chris Frame. Glad you could join us here on this Thursday night. We'll actually have back-to-back Thursday night games. As Matt, next week we will be up at East Stroudsburg.
Yes.
And it'll be Whitehall at East Stroudsburg South on a Thursday night, and then we'll head over to North Schuylkill on Friday night for Notre Dame and North Schuylkill. I'm already looking forward for that East Stroudsburg South game because we know their coach, Matt Walters, very well. We know he's not going for any extra points.
No punts, no extra points, maybe onside kicks. It's going to be a wild game.
So they'll start things off on the 14-yard line, trying to push forward. Maybe pick up about a yard or so.
It's not so much Northern Lehigh's offense at the point of attack is not getting the blocks. It's the backside blocks that are not sealing for Northern Lehigh. Northwestern from the backside up front is really scraping across, and they're getting into that gap and then chasing down the running back from behind.
So gain of 1, second down and 9, the ball at the 15. Newhart powers through and up to the 20-yard line. It'll bring them a third down and manageable here.
And these are the positions. This is where Northern Lehigh wants to be. 3rd and short, 2nd and 7. This is what scared Coach Snyder in Northwestern. They can't allow Northern Lehigh to get any kind of momentum, but here they are offensively in a manageable 3rd down to pick up the 1st down.
So down to about the 8-minute mark here in the opening quarter. 2nd down and 3 from the 21. They'll come near side, and really on the quick stick was Mason Bollinger right away. And you said that before. These guys are getting on the ball quick.
And you have to credit 55, their defensive end, Briar Reichert. He takes on the lead blocker, but not only takes on the lead blocker, he also takes out the second blocker as well. So that frees up Mason Bollinger to make that tackle, to bring up a 4th and short, and an early decision for Coach Tout in this game.
What do you think?
I like the call. Your 4th and short, this is a confidence builder. Try to get them to come up and go.
4th down and 1, the ball at the 21-yard line. And pushing through, Northwestern says no, but we'll wait for the spot here.
That looks like it's close.
They may measure this one. Yeah, they're going to. Tom Kickline is your referee tonight. Always does a great job. George Fredrizzi, James Litz, Joseph Fredrizzi, Christopher McFadden, Roland Paulus, and Keith Carl, and by the way, Glenn Rissmiller.
Down there.
Glenn Rissmiller with that clock operator. Never retiring, always on hand.
I think that happens with every football person. You don't retire from it. You just do something else with it.
That's it. It's going to be really close. Just gets it.
Gets it by the length of the football.
Yep. So that's got to give, that line and, these players some confidence here for sure, especially where the ball was, on your own 20-yard line, you're going for it.
It does. And I would think Northern Lehigh is going to come back and continue to work with that running game and just sprinkle in a few passes here or there. But if they can solidify those blocks on the backside, I think they'll get a little bit more running room.
from the 24. And taking it himself, but nowhere to go is Oswald. He gets smothered, loses some yards.
The offensive line wasn't able to do much there at the point of attack, which just slowed down Oswald to allow the defense to get there from the backside.
So a 3-yard loss. Clock down to 6:35. Again, we're halfway through the first quarter. We have still yet to see the Northwestern Lehigh offensive
and you have to
team
think,
on the field.
You have to think that's a win for Northern Lehigh, but they're going to get hit with a delay game.
So another penalty here on the Bulldogs. No Mike Yadish in the booth with us tonight, but his better frame, and Jim Yadish in the house. So we like to give kudos. Mike's sitting at home eating a pretzel, relaxing. His brother's working. So it happens. 2nd down and 18 or so. Oswald looks to throw, has a receiver. That was picked off by Zimmerman. Zimmerman from the 32. And he gets down to about the 20-yard line. So it's been the Eli Zimmerman show so far. Take a look.
And it's just an overthrow by Oswald. He had a receiver breaking open. He just can't get enough because of the rush. He gets it a little bit high, and he misses both receivers, and they're waiting behind everybody is Eli Zimmerman, who returns it inside the 20, setting up the Northwestern offense for their first series.
So 5:54 on the clock. Eli with a 20-yard interception return to the 12-yard line.
You all right, Al?
Yes, I'm good.
We just had a fan yell at us.
Are they yelling at us?
They're yelling at us. We need to tell the coaches what to do.
Oh, all right. Hold on. Let me do that. All right, Lay going to take it himself. And he gets down to the 10-yard line. Let's take a look at the offense for the Northwestern Lehigh Tigers.
We talked about Bollinger. We talked about Zimmerman and Lay at quarterback. And it's the other guys. The big fill-in right now, I think, is Josh Wombold, filling in for Shane Holmes, who just not ready to come back yet from an injury suffered in baseball. But imagine Northwestern when they get him back. There's a key component that's not on the field for them early in the season.
Shane Humes is dynamite, that's for sure. This one to the far side, Zimmerman, and he'll go in. So a 9-yard touchdown toss from Lay to Zimmerman.
And that's just a matter of the linebackers for Northern Lehigh being able to find their pickup. And they're just giving too much cushion to him out in the flat. You can't let him catch the ball uncontested and then be able to turn uncontested looking at the end zone.
So extra point coming up here for Seth Kern. High snap. That one is up, and that one is through. So with 5:17 on the clock, it's 14-0 in favor of Northwestern. And they have had the ball for less than a minute, and they have 14 points on the scoreboard.
And I was just going to mention that, obviously coming in, Northern Lehigh, one of the keys is going to be control the clock. Can you control the clock? And they've been doing that, right? They have been controlling the clock. However, they need to get points on the board when they're controlling the clock. They can't just continue to run the clock down and not get anything out of it.
We're expecting to get a bunch of first downs. First downs tonight are brought to you by Stu's Tire Center, but really we had the kickoff return, the punt return, and then maybe the one play from
with the one first
down
down on the measurement. That was it.
That's it. So 14-0 is your score here in the first quarter. Boots this one. We'll get another touchback. D11sports.com. Thanks Michael R. Glovis, financial advisor at Morgan Stanley in Easton, for his sponsorship of the Game of the Week. For all your investment needs, call Michael R. Glovis at 610-559-6380, located at 101 Larry Holmes Drive, Suite 301 in Easton, PA. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. So this is where Northern Lehigh has really been in position on the field. So they changed the quarterback. It's now Garrett Schmoyer, which we expected a possibility of seeing Schmoyer in the lineup for Northern Lehigh. And
we talked a lot so far about Eli Zimmerman, and this defense is doing fantastic. But younger brother coming in on that tackle, Brady Zimmerman, the sophomore, he's actually the one filling in for Humes while he's out on injury. If he can actually get caught up too, you're going to have another player that can fit in different places. He can be versatile, play a little bit on the outside, play on the inside, play back at safety if necessary. And here he is in on another play.
Yeah, never a chance to even get that started, Matt, as this defense continues to push forward. That was Schmoyer again. He kind of just backed up, and right when he got there, Northwestern was right on him, bring up a third down and long.
Exactly, and it didn't look like a blitz. It just looked like a read, and the linebackers, both inside linebackers, were gone, and they were hitting the gaps and getting them in the backfield.
So on a third down, they switch quarterbacks once again. It's Aiden Oswald. So Oswald on a third down and 12 from the 18-yard line. Looking to throw, has the near side, and Kern's waiting for that one, and Kern's going to go up and make the catch. So the interception by Seth Kern.
And Kern does make a great play on the ball. He does get up there. He high points it. However, Oswald missed this. You never miss a fade route to the inside. He just comes up a little bit short. He needs to put this outside the numbers where his receiver Zambo is and allow him to wall off Kern. So that's going to be something they go back and look at on film. That's a teaching moment for Oswald to get better.
I'll take a quick look at their defense, who's going to be tested for sure.
They are absolutely going to be tested, and it's going to be you pick your poison. Who's going to be tested most? Is it going to be up front in the running game, the linebackers getting mixed in those short passes, or is it going to be the secondary with the passing game?
From the 40, that's Shane Lay. A first down brought to you by Stu's Tire Center, as they move the ball down after a gain of 12 down to the 28-yard line.
And you see a little bit of change up here where they're using Mason Bollinger and Shane Lay at different points at quarterback.
So 3:28 on the clock. Lay with a 14-0 lead for Northwestern. Has all the time in the world. Middle part of the field has Kern, and that one slides through. He had a great look at that one.
Absolutely. And I like what Northwestern's trying to do. Northern Lehigh comes up in heavy coverage, and they go man-to-man, and they leave that middle of the field wide open. I thought for sure they were going to hit Sean Wombold down the middle with a seam route, but they bring Kern from the other side, and I think Lay just needs to put a little bit more air under that, and then Kern brings that in.
So the ball's at 28. And they'll go on the handoff, try to cut the other side. Is Landon Matson, but nothing there as he made that turn. Good job defensively there by the Bulldogs.
And I'd like to jump into Coach Snyder's head right now. What is he thinking offensively? What does he want to do? It's 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11. You're kind of right on the cusp of field goal range. So depending on how many yards you get here, is it an automatic go for it on 4th down, or do you try to kick a field goal?
3rd down and 11 from the 29-yard line for the Tigers. 2:39 on the clock. 14-0 is your score. Lay with Zimmerman in the backfield. 3 receivers to the near side. They'll give it to Zimmerman. He just flies right through the middle, and Zimmerman will get enough. Actually get in for the touchdown. Zimmerman goes 29 yards. Bounced off a defender, thought he went down, did not.
I thought he
goes
was
29
down.
yards.
You're right. Where that contact was, I thought for sure. I was ready to come in and talk about the play, how quickly he hit the hole, how quickly he got in there. We'll take another look. Nice trap play. They pull the backside. He gets hit, doesn't go down, runs well behind his pads, stays square on that ball, on the tackler, and just bounces off and then finishes off in the end zone. Credit to Northwestern in that 3rd down and long, picking something that was going to get them some yards, potentially give them a 4th and short, but they take it all. Eli takes it all the way for a touchdown.
So an extra point away from really breaking this game open. Joe Tout talking things over with Tom Kickline, the referee, here on the near sideline. Now, Matt, you have our headphones on. Do you have the officials' headphones on since you're working double duty tonight? I'm just wondering if you're like.
I left that at home, actually. I forgot. I should have brought it.
You can give us the insight.
I could have found out the channel.
Extra point. That one is through. 21-0 is your score. All Northwestern here with 2:23 on the clock here at Tiger Stadium. Tonight's game brought to you by Digital Scoreboards, proud sponsor of Lehigh Valley High School's Thursday night football. As a leader in video scoreboard displays, we're here to light up your Friday night, but on a Thursday. How about that? Proudly serving in Lehigh Valley District 11, where every score and play shines bright. When it comes to towing, trailer, or auto body repair, experience matters. Let Ironton Auto Body put their 70-plus years of experience to work for you. Locally owned and operated with 24-hour emergency towing and recovery services, along with 24-hour trailer repair. When something goes wrong, don't trust it to anyone. Look no further than Ironton Auto Body. Let our family take care of your family. Call 610-799-3241. On the kickoff. One ball, then they'll get the ball over. And they'll start things over at the 20-yard line. For over 175 years, New York Life has been helping families and businesses with their life, disability, and long-term care planning needs. Whether you have current coverage in place or in need of reviewing your options, please contact our office in Allentown to find the right plan to fit your needs. Call 610-616-4430, New York Life. Dave Micah and Tegan Tremba. Tegan's asking Dave, so Dave.
What do you do around here?
Yeah. Oh, wow, you're taking shots at Dave. Wow, all right, okay. I give Dave all the credit. There's so much behind the scenes that people don't realize. 21-0 is your score. So this is basically the starting area this entire time. A nice pass play. And a Stu's Tires first down as Oswald connects.
And just like Northwestern did prior, Northern Lehigh brings Newhart out of the backfield. They start with the old T backfield, 3 running backs. The tight end goes out to the flat. Newhart breaks up the seam, and the linebacker's trying to pick him up, but he's coming forward and just slips behind him and makes a nice catch.
Well, if you're Northern Lehigh right now, this is huge for you because it's the first time you're not at your own 20-yard line or 15-yard line. But as I say that, maybe pick up a yard or so. Good look at Chris Frame. That name Frame.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, when you talk about Northern Lehigh, there's a lot of them.
And Chris himself, only a sophomore. He's one of the young ones in the Northern Lehigh starting lineup. A few sophomores, a bunch of juniors starting. This is a young team for Coach Tout.
So no gain. It's at the 42-yard line. They'll pitch this one back, trying to fly right up the middle, just crunched. Never really had a chance. Big stick by Jared Meck.
And that's, again, it's the guy coming from the backside. The backside defensive lineman, they're just not – Northern Lehigh is not able to seal them off. Just as a play looks like it's about to break, those guys crash down and close it down. be interesting to see what Coach Tout's thinking about in terms of fourth down going for it. You're down 21-0. Depending on what you have here, you do it for fourth down, but it was much shorter earlier on.
Right. 3rd down and 10 from the 42. I think Coach Tout's going to talk about this one. And, Matt, this is one of the positions where you said it. It could be where you're trying to gain some, to get you closer to that first down marker.
Absolutely. We talked about the time of possession. I don't want to beat this horse, but they've earned the time of possession in the first quarter. It's just the fact that they're down 21-0. So at some point, that has to go out the window. I think now you need to look at, all right, what can we do to develop some plays, hit some bigger plays, go put the ball down the field a little bit, try to loosen this defense up.
We talk about, this place getting packed. There's a good look at their student section. They are in the old red, white, and blue on this Thursday night, enjoying it. Want to give a shout out to Jason Zimmerman and his entire team. They always do a great job here. They got media coming out of the zoo from everywhere. There's TV on that side. We're over here. Penn Sports Radio is next to us. Tony Sabilla. They do a great job as well. And, Jason Zimmerman making sure everybody has some spots. So we're nearing the end of the quarter. However, it is a big 3rd down here for Northern Lehigh. From the 42, 3rd down and 10. See if they can try to draw, and that one pops up, and that one's intercepted. The INT by Michael Lagoe. So Lagoe comes up. He went up and got that one, the sophomore, shining right there on that play. So another interception. That's the 3rd of the game for the Tigers. Take a look at Lagoe.
And Lagoe's covering the receiver all the way on the top, and frame comes inside. I think he's supposed to stay outside a little more because he's bringing less of a cushion with his other teammate. And Lagoe just plays between them. And then as the ball comes, just gets up, high points it. And as you said, 3 turnovers. That's huge for Northwestern. You can't expect to come in here and not be down, turning the ball over like they have tonight. That was a swing pass to Madsen, and unfortunately just Northwestern can't get the block on the outside, and I think that's going to take us to the quarter. Yep,
I'll wind it down, and we'll hear the horn sound. So 1 in the books from Tiger Stadium, New Tripoli. 21-0 is your score. You're watching our D11sports.com Game of the Week, presented by St. Luke Sports Medicine.
It's here! For real! It's St. Luke's Children's Hospital, ready to help all kids. They're keeping kids healthy, fixing us up, making us feel better, helping kids be the best they can be, because it's about us. The kids! It's St. Luke's Children's Hospital!
St. Luke's Children's Hospital is helping kids with everything, from routine checkups to specialized care.
It's here! It's great! Yeah!
At St. Luke's Orthopedic Care, you can trust us with your hands, feet, shoulders, hips, and knees. Because healthy bones and joints mean you can do more. You can trust us to recommend the right approach to care, including joint-sparing treatments and therapies. And when surgery is the only choice, we offer options to help you heal faster, including technology-assisted joint replacements and muscle-sparing hip surgery. St. Luke's, the orthopedic care you trust, now more than ever.
We are back. Tiger Stadium, Al DiCarlo, Matt Avancho, Tegan Tremba, Dave Micah. Glad you can join us for our D11sports.com Game of the Week, presented by St. Luke Sports Medicine. Sean Riley, Sports Fan Base Network. Pushing the right buttons as they always do. 21-0. Matt, we'll get your thoughts right after this play. So they go on the ground with Zimmerman. He cuts through, and Zimmerman picks up yardage. And he's still on his feet. Again, he does this. They say he wasn't down. Are you kidding me?
We have to see that replay.
I'm not sure about.
I don't think he was down.
Wow.
I think he rolled over the defender.
That would be 60 yards. And we'll look at this one again.
It looks like Northern Lehigh has him. They have him wrapped up. He gets brought down.
Ooh.
Doesn't put his knee down.
He landed on top of him and kept on going in one motion.
His feet.
Wow.
Yeah, he comes down on his feet and does not go down. But Northern Lehigh expected him to be down. They all stopped. I mean, we talked about last week about how Eli Zimmerman only had 4 touches for over 100 yards.
Now you know why.
He's doing the same thing tonight.
Wow. Thought he was getting, the first down. And again, we saw it like before, 20-plus yards or so. And next thing you know, it's 60 yards. So Eli with a 43-yard punt return made it 7-0. He had an INT down to the 12-yard line. It led to a 9-yard run from Lay, a 9-yard touchdown pass from Lay to Zimmerman, made it 14-0. Seth Kern had an INT, a 29-yard touchdown by Zimmerman. Then Lagoe had an INT, and now a 60-yard touchdown run by Zimmerman. And it is 28-0 here early in the second quarter.
And one thing for Coach Snyder that you have to be happy about is the fact that his guys are continuing to push the button. They're continuing to push the momentum. They have 3 turnovers, 3 scores off those turnovers. They had a turnover on downs with the punt. They scored off of that. So they're capitalizing every moment they can.
Kern has it on the tee. We'll see how this fares. I believe this is going into the wind. And they will get field position right around the 31-yard line, as that was caught by Zane Roth. This quarter is brought to you by Strategic Benefits One Group in the Lehigh Valley, a premier broker in helping small, medium, and large businesses build a competitive employee benefits package, which includes retirement plan services and managing clients locally, as well as in more than 12 states. Visit their website at strategicbenefitsonegroup.com. We thank them for their continued dedication and support of D11sports.com, Mike Lagoe, and Strategic Benefits One Group. Here in the second quarter, 28-0. So attack on the ground, but there's nothing in the middle as they're right there, right on that 30-yard line. And, Matt, this is not just going to be against Northern Lehigh on the team as Newhart with the carry, but it's going to be to a lot of teams like this because that interior, even though they lost a couple players, they're still a very strong group.
They are. They're very strong. They're very good. And then put on top of that, they're well coached. So they're on assignment. They're where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there, and they have the trust of their teammates that their teammates going to fill where they're supposed to and be where they're supposed to be. So you're not trying to do anything too much outside of what your assignment is.
From the 31, going to toss near side. That one was knocked down. So you're seeing the lineman, then you're seeing, Womble coming in there. You mentioned, Womble in the mix with Shane Humes, not playing tonight. But, everyone's making plays. I had asked Josh earlier in the week. I said, you make a run to the state championship game. You lose, some really key cogs, right? Some big-time players.
Absolutely,
but
they did.
A lot of these players were part of that team and building that success as well.
And I think that's where you see teams that have success and go deep in the playoffs, they're regularly there because of the other kids that get into games and are getting meaningful minutes against quality opponents. It's not like they're going in against younger kids. They're going against starters of other teams, and they're getting meaningful minutes, and you're seeing a lot of it happen already early in this season as well.
Oswald tried to roll to the outside, but again, a swarm of gold bring them down.
And that's the thing. We're seeing gold everywhere. They're just everywhere. Anywhere the ball goes, they're already there. So credit Coach Snyder and his staff for having these guys prepared for this game.
So 4th down and 14. They're going to field this one, and it's going to field right around 39. It's Kern. Kern tries to reverse it and go to the far side of the field, and he breaks one tackle, gets across midfield. Kern down the sideline, has a lead block in front, and Kern races his way through, and he's going to coast in for the touchdown. 60-plus yards on the return for Seth Kern.
60-plus yards, and then you add into that how the 40 yards he ran from the near sideline to the far sideline. He catches us over by the numbers. Look at Eli Zimmerman picking up a good block. Coming to your right of your screen, it looked worse after you saw it. You saw the two Northern Lehigh guys down, but it was a push block, legal block by one Northwestern guy, pushing them into another, and they both tripped and went down, and that cleared Kern open into the end zone.
So 59 yards for Seth Kern on that return. And now he goes right back and he's going to kick the extra point.
Job's not done. And then he's going to come back and kick off.
Yeah. This one is up and through.
I'll have to talk to Coach Snyder. I think the one thing they need to do a little bit better of is the timing of that kick. They need to pick up this pace and get the kickoff a little bit sooner.
See, you coaches, you guys are always looking for something.
Hey, Coach Snyder's
absolutely.
looking for that too.
Exactly, he is.
He was really happy last week about how they performed in all three phases: the running, the offense, the defense, and most importantly, special teams. And you're seeing the result of that tonight. I don't understand what he was referring to about how he had to wait for their defense to come along, because their defense is playing outstanding.
So 35-0 is your score after the 59-yard punt return by Seth Kern. And can you get the long weekend? No school tomorrow. And
Hey. Half day.
Oh, half day
I have a
for
half
you?
day.
Okay. You're working. You had a half day last week when you only officiated half that day. Or did you?
Well, something was missed there.
On the return is Zane Roth.
We have a flag coming in. I wonder if they're going to get Zane Roth for an illegal fair catch signal. He put his hand up last minute.
Oh, and then took off.
But I think he stopped for a second and waited and saw no whistle was blown, or heard no whistle,
so
and then took off, which I don't blame him. That's a good reaction.
Yep. If you're a student from any District 11 school or interested in broadcasting, journalism, or photography, check out d11sports.com. Follow your dream, get close to the action, take part in our student internship program. For more information, contact your athletic director or reach out to myself or Dave at d11sports.com.
And, you look at Roth, that ball's coming at you, and you feel like you have forever, then all of a sudden the ball's right on you. And he, at last second, tried to get that fair catch signal up, just not able to extend his arm enough to make the legal signal.
So they'll start things off from their own 25-yard line. And they'll go and attack try on the ground, but again, met immediately on the play. And this is how it's been so far for Northern Lehigh. And
it's just the gold jerseys are everywhere.
Newhart's realizing, last week
and you see him shaking his head.
I rushed 22 times for 151 yards, but he
can't
not
find any room.
Right, he's not finding that space.
No, not at all.
So we're approaching the 9-minute mark. Oswald on the toss. And the ball is loose and picked up.
The big guy.
That was Briar Reichert.
Oh, he's so close.
Reichert wanted that one.
Yes, he did. And you look at Reichert. I saw him down on the field, and I'm thinking, man, this is a big kid. You see him from the right defensive end position. They run a sweep to the right, and then they're bringing Newhart back, and there's just a bobble with the snap, and Reichert picks it up. But on the field, he looks so big. And I come up here, he's only 6'4", well, not only 6'4", but 240 pounds. He looks much bigger than 240 pounds. But a good-looking right tackle for Northwestern.
So you said he came right up here, and then you saw me, and then you were, like, stymied, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's nothing next to you.
That's why I was just making sure that you were making sure our audience knew that. Lay starting things off from the 7-yard line, a 35-0 lead. He's going to toss this one, and that one incomplete.
Just ran out of room, I believe. He was trying to find his inside slot receiver on a skinny post coming across the formation. Just
out of reach of Matt.
Just out of the reach, unfortunately, for Northwestern. But Northern Lehigh still bringing a lot of pressure. They just can't crack through that offensive line yet.
So 2nd down and 7.
So this is a similar formation I had mentioned to you earlier. Wombold at tight end. I mistakenly called him Sean, but Josh Wombold, nobody in the middle of the field.
Looking to pass, going to the far side, and that one is incomplete. His frame got his hand on it.
And I think that's one Coach Snyder's going to sit down with Lay, and they're going to have a conversation about he threw that without even really looking that way. He just knew where his receiver was going to be. He had his inside receiver running a quick 5-yard out, and he threw it behind him, which gave Frame the opportunity to potentially get a hand on that.
Now I'll bring up a 3rd down and 7. Bollinger takes it himself and nowhere to go. So if you're Northern Lehigh, now you got to be careful here, right? That brings up a 4th down.
And this is going to be an interesting call. I mean, I think you're at the point.
Mole, one of those guys in there, bringing him down.
They did not give – the defense did not fall for the fake of the sweep to Matson on the outside. They keyed on Bollinger, and they did a great job and got him. So now what do you do if you coach Snyder? You're up 35-0. Do you kick the field goal or do you go for it?
Well, I think they're going to go for it anyway. They may even bang a timeout here at the end of this one to try and milk a little more clock there. But the reason I say that is you're even closer even for that field goal. If you want to test your –
and there's a timeout.
There's your timeout. I mean, if you want to give your kicker, you want to get him some range. Maybe not, from, 23 yards or so.
Yeah, right now it's 5 yards more than an extra point.
Right. So we'll see what they decide to do here with 7:55 in the clock and in total control of this game. St. Luke's is the region's only varsity team in sports medicine. Our team offers the most comprehensive advanced treatment for athletic injuries, including athletic training, sports performance for individuals and teams, chiropractic, sports psychology, sports nutrition, physical therapy, and more. St. Luke's provides sports medicine services at more than 60 schools and cares for almost 40,000 student athletes in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. No matter your sport or position, we can train you to avoid injury and get back on your feet and back in the game. The game is changing, and St. Luke's sports medicine is changing it. So it will bring up a 4th down with a 35-0 lead after the fumble recovered by Briar Reichert.
And no T on the field, so definitely going for it. Do you try to pull Northern Lehigh off sides?
So Lay's going to roll. Lay's going to try to run with it, and he will find the corner and gets in for the touchdown, 6 yards. He found the pylon right there and reached forward and gets the touchdown. So Shane Lay with a 6-yard run. Take a look.
Play action to Eli Zimmerman, and then Lay rolling to his right. And he has Matson keyed up right there, right inside the goal line. He kind of walled off the nearest defender, and then Lay just had to make a decision. Do I run it And then when he started to run it, that defender comes off, or do I pitch it back to Matson? And he saw he had the angle. He ran it in for the touchdown. He wanted to get his score in this first half.
Hey, good look at the Tiger. Wandering about.
What is that?
So they'll get a penalty against Northwestern at the end of that play.
And that's not going to make Coach Snyder happy. Everything was going your way, and then that's not something you want to do. So they'll take advantage of that on the kickoff. And the way Northwestern has been kicking the ball and putting it in the end zone, but kicking this way, they've kicked short every time. They don't have the wind at their back, so they've kicked short. We'll see what they do now that they're pushed back 15 yards.
So 7:50 on the clock. Eli's the holder. You know, we always say that because down the road, there's Kern with the extra point to make it 42-0. But when you see those kind of holders, you know that things are possible.
Absolutely. So I have a question for you, Al.
Okay.
So not to discredit any other team in the league, but you've had a chance to see Southern Lehigh in action last week.
Good.
You have a chance to see Northwestern Lehigh tonight. We have a Week 10 matchup, and this is weeks down the road. Already looking at that Week 10 matchup. If they both get there undefeated,
yeah,
who has the advantage in your eyes?
Well, I can tell you right now, I will let you know who does on October the 25th.
I figured you were going to say that.
I'll tell you what, suddenly I was really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you got to see once we start seeing the teams that they face and injuries always come into play. You never know what's going to happen there, but there's a lot of talent there, from obviously the players that they have there. And Northwestern has yet to be tested.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have not given up a point yet so far this season, so hard to judge. Brian Geist makes his way out of the press box after a long interview with Tony Sabilla of Penn Sports Radio.
And you bring up a great point there. I think the depth for both teams, that's going to play a key role in that back half of the season.
So Wombold will kick off here after the penalty. They'll move that one back. This will be rolls out of bounds. So this will end up being the best field position for Northern Lehigh.
Well, right about
this entire
there.
Game, right?
Right about there. They did get the ball up here across the 50, I think, in the first quarter. But I think it wasn't a planned kick. I think Wombold was just trying to get too much of it, kicking into the wind, and just hit it wrong, and it just rolled out of bounds. But I know you saw Southern Lehigh, their offensive line has size.
Huge. Huge. So I mean, again,
they can match up there.
Yeah, and that's one thing. I don't. Again, this is we're talking here in week 2, right?
I know.
Does Eli go flying through this line of Southern Lehigh? It's
Correct.
a big difference. So we don't know that yet. But that's the first thing I noticed last week when I saw that line. I'm like, wow, they're big.
And that game takes place at Southern Lehigh.
Right.
So I think that plays a role as well.
If you're Northern Lehigh, here's your best field position, and I want to try to get something on the scoreboard if you can.
You get a couple positive yards for
it's just been
Newhart.
Yeah, it's just been not a struggle. Just been that's not there. The middle part of the field has not been there.
They've had a little bit of room off tackle, but they haven't been able to cut off that backside. And you can see Northern Lehigh's trying to pull every play they have to get something going.
Second down and 8. and they'll fake it on the ground, and they'll go forward as Oswald. Oswald going nowhere.
Gain. Yeah, no gain. I mean, initially, that looks like there's a hole there, and then Northwestern just collapses it quickly.
So we'll bring up a 3rd down and 8.
And Smoyer back in the game at quarterback for Northern Lehigh.
Clock down to 6:25. On the snap, looking to throw, has a receiver that pops up, and that one's intercepted. It's just how it's been so far tonight. And on the return is Brady Zimmerman. He gets into the action.
And he's just in the right spot at the right time. Again, the pass a little high, but in Frame's hands. He tries to bring it down, but Lagoi's right there to bring him down for the tackle, so he kind of affects that play. And credit, again, Brady Zimmerman being in the right place at the right time, catches that deflected pass and makes a good setting up this Northwestern offense again in good field position.
So the ball at the 40, and it's a 42-0 score. They go 3 receivers on the far side of the field. They'll keep Zimmerman and Eli Zimmerman in the backfield. Now they'll move him to the near side on one-on-one coverage. Here's Lay thinking about the middle part of the field, and that one incomplete. Now, Matt, so you have yourself a 42-0 lead. Coach Snyder talked about reps. They didn't have that many reps last week in the big win against Wilson. Your quarterback really hasn't thrown the ball that much either. People sometimes look, there's so much time in this game, but you got to throw eventually just to see how you kind of connect with your players.
And I think what you're seeing too is a little rust has to be knocked off because of not having that opportunity. You do it in practice, but it's not the same as a game. It's not the same as game situation. And you look at Shane Lay, he was 7 of 9 last week. But he had 5 passes thrown to Bollinger, 2 passes to Eli Zimmerman, and that was it. So you credit him trying to read through his progression and find other receivers on these plays that are kind of leveling down the field. He's trying to find the right spot. He's just not putting it on them yet.
So Matson on the catch, makes it 3rd down and 5.
I'm still waiting for Coach Snyder to try to leak Josh Womble down that middle. I mean, Northern Lehigh takes everybody out of the middle of the field.
So Lay looking to throw, and he gets taken down to the ground. Well, that swarming defense pays dividends there on that play as a number of players come in there, including Isaac Raber.
And Bill Slattery comes from the defensive end spot, too. I think they had a line stunt where he looped inside, and he comes free. And Lay, credit for him for staying in the pocket, but it just collapses around him, and he's not able to find anybody.
So 4th and 13 from their own 43, Northern Lehigh's 43-yard line. Lay throws, and he gets Matson there. And Matson inside the 20, down to the 15, 10, 5, and touchdown.
And that's a tough play to defend against. You have everybody coming across the formation, and then Matson coming in the opposite direction. Shane Lay stays in the pocket. Nice job staying in the pocket and finds Matson coming across, as I said, against everybody else. Breaks one tackle down inside the 5 and does a nice job finishing in the end zone.
So Kern here with the extra point attempt to increase the lead. Pressure comes, but another one goes through to the uprights, and it's all Northwestern leading by the score of 49-0. So 4:32 left in the first half.
And that's the thing. There's still 4.5 minutes left. And I don't know if we're done seeing the Northwestern starters. You would think at this point you'd start to bring some of them out.
So we get the kickoff here. On ball, lets this one fly. And that one actually be fielded right around the 13-yard line or so. And on the return was Ryan Zambo.
I think you had two Northwestern Tigers coming in on a tackle. Couldn't quite make out their numbers.
Today's game brought to you by Michael R. Glovis, financial advisor at Morgan Stanley, located at 101 Larry Holmes Drive, Suite 301 in Easton, PA. For all your investment needs, call Michael R. Glovis at 610-559-6380. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. Matt, one thing, too, is, okay, their offense has been explosive, but their defense has been sensational, picking up all those turnovers.
And that's the thing that I'm most impressed with is what their defense has been so opportunistic so early in the season. And it's not like they're getting breaks. Some of them are, but they're making plays. Things like this, they're in the right spots at the right time all the time.
Yeah, frame on the carry, but he had nowhere to go. We try to hear from Jason Zimmerman at the half with Tegan Tremba. So a loss of 3, ball at the 17-yard line. Oswald try to make something happen through the middle, not much there.
And that's a tough assignment. You're asking Gavin Newhart to block number 55 for Northwestern, Briar Reichard. Just a difference in height and a difference in size. Just not a battle that's in Northern Lehigh's favor.
49-0 is your score. Ball back at the 20. 3rd down and 10. Oswald, with a player in motion, will go to the ground here. Try and make the turn, but no one fooled. And coming right across again is Briar Reichard.
That's Reichard from his defensive end spot chasing frame down in the backfield.
He's not bad.
He is not bad.
And what this does, too, is, milks the clock down, but there's still so much time there. And the way the game's been going, you're going to try to do your best to put it away from Zimmerman or Kern. But they're sitting
both of them
right at midfield. And you look at that, they're going away because that's the only way to really stop them at that point.
I agree. I think that's a great call, just telling him to kick it as far downfield as you can, angle to the sideline, and get it out of bounds.
For over 175 years, New York Life has been helping families and businesses with their life, disability, and long-term care planning needs. Whether you have current coverage in place or in need of reviewing your options, please contact our office in Allentown to find the right plan to fit your needs. Call New York Life at 610-616-4800 4430 today. So Northwestern takes over at the 44-yard line. Bollinger tries to go to the far side, not tackled, and it will be taken down, maybe lost a yard or so. This game also brought to you by Stu's Tire Center, located at 3930 Independence Drive in Schnecksville. In need of new tires, a wheel alignment, or oil change, stop by Stu's Tire Center or give them a call at 610-799-4298, locally owned since 1981. So the first carry, I believe, of the game by Braxton Lakatosh, the 5'7", 170-pound junior.
And in these last two plays, you saw Northern Lehigh's defense. Coach Tout was crediting him this week. He said he runs this offensive scout team. They are playing fast. That's nothing that we're taking away from. You can't get outside of them. They have a lot of team speed on defense. It's just the misdirection and some missed tackles is what's been hurting them tonight.
Lakatosh with a Stu's Tires first down. Haven't said that much tonight. And a clock down to about 48 seconds. Again, it's Lakatosh, and Lakatosh maybe a pickup of a yard or so.
And I don't think you'll see Northwestern put the ball in the air necessarily. I think they're just going to continue to run the ball.
They'll go quick to see if they can get one play here. With 21 seconds left, they got three receivers to the near side. They fake it to Lakatosh. They do put it in the air, and they get it over to Bollinger. Bollinger battles forward.
And that's essentially just a running play, really. It's a pass out to a screen pass.
There's a flag at the end of that play, Matt.
Looks like we're having an eligible man downfield.
It's another Stu's Tires first down. Tom Kickline. He doesn't like us. That's why he's got his back turned. He's looking the other way.
Number 52 ineligible downfield. Pass ball is caught beyond the line. Count. Correction. Replay. Second down.
That's just a matter of timing and positioning on that screen play, making sure we catch the ball behind the line of scrimmage so that the lineman can be downfield.
Looking to throw, middle part of the field, and he connects on the touchdown pass from 26 yards to Seth Kern.
Yeah, we have another flag. I think we're going to get Seth Kern on spinning the ball in the Northern Lehigh defender's face. Seth Kern's the inside receiver. He's going to break to the post. And he makes a nice catch, but this can't happen after the play. You just can't throw the ball down like that.
So Kern from Shane Lay. So 56-0 is your score as the teams go into the locker room. I think
they should go into the locker room. I believe it's going to be enforced when they come back out, because it was after the play. It was a dead ball. But if there's anything for Coach Snyder not to be happy about, it's going to be the flags, the unsportsmanlike behavior that's plagued them this first half.
All right, with that, Josh Snyder running over here to Tegan Tremba, and she's standing by with Coach. Go ahead, Tegan.
Hey, Coach, so in the beginning of the game you talked about splash plays. Well, your defense has 4 interceptions, and Eli Zimmerman by himself has 4 touchdowns. So how are your thoughts on how your team's executing right now?
Yeah, I came out and we're really fired up for the football game. You know, our guys live for Thursday nights, Friday nights, Saturday after. They don't care when they play. They just want to play, and they play hard, and they play for each other. We harp on special teams a lot, and all you have to do is come to one of our practices. A lot of special teams, and you can see that on the football field.
Obviously, this game's you're ahead by a lot. What's the message going to be to your team in the next in the locker room at halftime?
Yeah, we're just proud of them, proud of the effort. I think we got to keep our heads. We got a lot more to play for down the line this year. Our starters are obviously done, so it's a time for our younger kids to get buckled up and strapped up and get some playing time here in the second half, and we're looking for them to execute.
All right, back to you.
All right, Tegan, thank you so much, and thanks to Coach to make his run to this side of the field. We'll take a break. It's 55-0. You're watching our D11Sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke Sports Medicine.
Welcome to St. Luke's. St. Luke's is the largest hospital system in the Lehigh Valley, with 20,000 employees at multiple hospital campuses, all located throughout northeastern Pennsylvania and western New Jersey. Whether you're an experienced professional, an aspiring student, or a patient seeking care, you'll find your place here. Care doesn't just define your career at St. Luke's. Care is our culture.
We are back. 56-0 is your score at the half. Al DiCarlo with Matt Avancho. And actually also looking down the field is Tegan Tremba, and she is with the Northwestern Lehigh Athletic Director, and that is, of course, Jason Zimmerman, and she has his thoughts.
All right, I'm here with the Athletic Director of Northwestern Lehigh. Obviously, both of your sons are playing this game. So what are your thoughts on the first half?
Well, listen, I'm just impressed that I'm getting interviewed by royalty in the part of the Tremba family, and here you're an awesome wrestler. It's good for that. Katie Brensinger is a female wrestler, and she just graduated. She went off to ESU. So yeah, it's nerve-wracking, being a dad and an AD. Unfortunately, being an AD, you missed some things. We had some people that didn't want to behave properly tonight, so we had to take care of that, and that's first and foremost. But it is awesome being able to be a dad and an AD at Northwestern Lehigh and get to watch your sons grow, and just such a great coaching staff, and Josh Snyder and what he does with these kids year in and year out. It's awesome.
Yeah, I saw you run faster than some of the football players on the field today over there. So obviously there was a big state championship run last year. Just talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, obviously for this year it's game by game. We're going to take the same approach. That's how Coach Snyder preaches it, and that's how what we do, game by game, quarter by quarter, play by play. But last year's run was unbelievable. I really wish I had 35 years in and I could go out on top with that. We had soccer. Our soccer teams, both of them do very, very well. We had the soccer state championship. I think that was 2 years ago now. And then making it to the dance last year in football. I wish I could have hung it up and said, leave my cleats in the middle of the field. But hopefully we can make another run, make some noise again. Targets on our back a little bit, so we'll see how these guys adapt. We look a little bit different. We work ground and pound. So Coach Snyder just does a fantastic job. The way these kids, last year and this year, and I think people will agree. The secret to success, people ask, and it's really these kids play for each other. They don't, you take away all the stats. All they really care about is each other and what that final score is, and that's something special in this day and age.
Yeah, definitely a lot of good things going on here. And last thing, obviously, there was a very tragic loss that happened in the beginning of this year with Tucker Westner. So Just talk a little bit how that brought the community together. Obviously, very unfortunately.
Sure. Listen, I know you're only a couple miles down the road in Parkland, but we're close enough. You talk about Northwestern Lehigh and how tight knit this community is. It's not just words. They truly are a family. Anybody's down their luck, their chips are down. You got 24 people there ready to pick you up and move forward. So very fortunate to live in such an awesome place. Listen, Tucker's forever in our hearts. He's just such a lovable kid. Did so much. I mean, he installed my sand mound at my house. That's just how this community is. Everybody knows everybody, and everybody supports each other. Losing a kid like Tuck was absolutely brutal, but he's serving as inspiration for this team this year. And you see us carrying the flag out. Obviously, we did hopefully a good tribute to him last week. And they still bring his jersey out with us so he's right here, maybe not physically, but in spirit he's absolutely here, and he's watching down from us from above.
Yeah, definitely very unfortunate and a very tight-knit community. I can already tell from just being here just for a couple of hours. So thank you, and back to you.
All right, Tegan, great job in the interview. Thanks to Jason Zimmerman, always does a great job. And obviously thoughts and prayers with the Westner family, the loss of number 53, just so hard for, not only his teammates and the coaches, but, everyone that knew him, walking the halls. And, I know that I put some videos together, for the state championship run. And, he was holding coach's hand at the last time that they were together there. So tough for everyone, that's for sure. But we move on here, and right now it's been all Northwestern. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll give you some more information and give you some numbers here, because it's been a pretty impressive first half for Northwestern Lehigh Tigers. It's 56-0 your score. You're watching our D11sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine.
1, 2, 3,
We're here with the second annual camp. We're just giving back, teaching the kids the game.
Be able to just give back to the community, give back to the kids, the next generation, which is something I feel so passionate about. It's always great for me just to come out here and support any way I can. No matter where, giving back to the community is important to me. So the relationship that me and St. Luke's have is great.
You guys got it. We're 1-1.
I'm really a big believer that God puts us in position, and God gave me a platform, and to be able to work with St. Luke's and use our platform together to make change in our community, and that's what we are a good team going to do.
St. Luke's Pediatrics is taking care of kids all over the Lehigh Valley and beyond. That's because we offer a full range of care, everything from the routine to the specialized. You'll find pediatric cardiology, neurology, general surgery, and much more. And all this amazing care is nearby. St. Luke's Pediatrics, caring for your future.
Since its inception, the Temple St. Luke's School of Medicine has focused on cultivating local talent. Training medical students in the Lehigh Valley has significant long-term benefits for our region's healthcare. Our medical students learn here, stay here, and establish practices here, becoming a true community asset. Start here and train with the next generation of healthcare providers for our region. Learn more at sluhn.org/SOM.
We are so proud that we won our Top Workplaces Award 2 years in a row.
We are, without question, the #1 health system in this valley. Every award we get demonstrates that every day, over and over and over again. And who gets the credit for that? Our employees.
They continually show up committed and dedicated to our patients, our families, our communities, and each other.
Back here at Tiger Stadium, 56-0 is your score. We're at the half in this matchup between these two teams. It's been all Northwestern. We'll take a look at a couple of highlights in a little bit. But shout out to our sponsors. When it comes to towing, trailer, auto body repair, experience matters. Let Ironton Auto Body put their 70-plus years of experience to work for you. Locally owned and operated with 24-hour emergency towing and recovery services, along with 24-hour trailer repair. When something goes wrong, don't trust it to anyone. Look no further than Ironton Auto Body. Let our family take care of your family. Call 799-3241. Shout out to Stu's Tire Center, located at 3930 Independence Drive in Schnecksville. In need of new tires, a wheel alignment, or an oil change, stop by Stu's Tire Center. Give them a call at 610-799-4298. Locally owned since 1981. Tonight's game also brought to you by Michael R. Globus, financial advisor at Morgan Stanley, located at 101 Larry Holmes Drive, Suite 301 in Easton, PA. For all your investment needs, call Michael R. Globus at 610-559-6380. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. For over 175 years, New York Life has been helping families and businesses with their life, disability, and long-term care planning needs. Whether you have current coverage in place or in need of reviewing your options, please contact our office in Allentown to find the right plan to fit your needs. Call New York Life at 610-616-4430 today. Tonight's game is brought to you also by Digital Scoreboards, your leader in video scoreboard displays. Keep your eye on the game and the score with Digital Scoreboards, where every moment matters. Let's light up Friday night football. Tonight we saw a lot of lighting up of Thursday night football to this point. St. Luke's, the region's only varsity in sports medicine. Our team offers most comprehensive and advanced treatment for athletic injuries, including athletic training, sports performance for individuals and teams, chiropractic, sports psychology, sports nutrition, physical therapy, and more. St. Luke's provides sports medicine services at more than 60 schools and cares for almost 40,000 student athletes in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. No matter your sport or position, we can train you to avoid injury and get you back on your feet and back in the game. The game is changing, and St. Luke's sports medicine is changing it. If you're a student from any District 11 school interested in broadcasting, journalism, or photography, check out D11sports.com. Follow your dream, get close to the action. Take part in our student internship program. For more information, contact your athletic director or reach out to myself or Dave at D11sports.com. At the half, all Northwestern 56-0. Let's take a look at some of the highlights in the first half.
And we have a lot of them. A lot of highlights. I mentioned you on the kick on this punt that there's a chance, if it's set up correctly, Eli Zimmerman would have a lane, and the way it turned out he did, he caught it on the run, 43 yards for the touchdown, and that opened up a quick and fast scoring first quarter. From here, it turned into the Northwestern defense. Northwestern defense coming up with 4 interceptions in the first half. This one a 20-yard return by Eli Zimmerman down to the 12-yard line, which set up that offense. And this is the offense we're looking at that was prolific in the first half. This is a 9-yard touchdown run, or touchdown reception by Eli Zimmerman. So he's had touchdowns on special teams, rushing, as well as receiving.
And defense.
And defense, yes.
I
forgot about that one. This one was just a missed throw, but credit the Northwestern defense and Seth Kern. He catches at the 40-yard line. He does a nice job of high-pointing it, walling off the Northern Lehigh defender. Shane Lay steps back. He finds Seth Kern, just misses him, and that would have been a dagger early on. But credit to Northwestern. They come right back. They come right back with the ball, and this was a short or a 3rd and 11. Northern Lehigh defense had him, doesn't go down, and he goes in for the 29-yard touchdown run. That made it 21-0, still with about 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Again, a little bit more of Northwestern's defense, this time with just under a minute left. Oswald puts it up. This time it's Legawi who comes up with the interception on their own 42-yard line with just under a minute. Then as the quarter changes, this was the play we talked about. Eli Zimmerman goes through. He rolls over top of the tackler, never puts his knee down, never goes down. Everybody stops. He takes it the rest of the way in for the long touchdown run of 60 yards. Back to the special teams, and Coach Snyder had said it. They spend a lot of time on special teams. You get 2 key blocks there. He breaks 1 tackle. The guys coming back give him key blocks there, and he has a lead convoy into the end zone. Seth Kern with the 59-yard punt return for the touchdown.
Yeah, that made it 35-0.
This time Northern Lehigh trying to get something going. They run a reverse. Briar Reichert in the right spot at the right time. Just can't get enough to get it in the end zone, but brings it down to the 7-yard line. And then on, I believe it was 4th and goal, Northwestern goes for it. Shane Lay calls his own number rolls out to the right, sees his receivers covered, runs to the near pylon, reaches the ball out, crosses for the 6-yard TD run. At that point, with just under 8 minutes left in the half, Northwestern was up 42-0. Again, just an errant pass, but still hands-on by Northern Lehigh, but tipped and knocked out. Coming up with the interception is Brady Zimmerman, who gets a nice return back to the 40-yard line and sets up this play to Madsen, Landon Madsen, who coming across the formation for the 43-yard touchdown reception, breaks a tackle inside the 5, finishes in the end zone with 4.5 minutes left. It's 49-0 Northwestern in the first half. And Northern Lehigh on offense. This is Briar Riker chasing down Chris Frame to the edge, showing his athleticism from that defensive end position. Frame, a good athlete in his own right, not able to outrun him. And then with time running out, Shane Lay drops back, lofts the pass to Shane Kern into the end zone for the touchdown, or Seth Kern in the end zone for 26 yards. And that ended the first half, 56-0.
All right, Matt. Good job in the highlights by Sean.
But remember,
he was in a starting lineup in there just to keep you awake.
At that last touchdown, there was an unsportsmanlike 15-yard penalty,
right,
which should move the ball forward.
So 1 half in the books, 56-0. The mercy rule will be in effect right after this kick.
And Tom Kickline is over talking to Coach Snyder right now.
So a kickoff from the 40. Long discussion on the far sideline.
Well, I think the problem was Coach Snyder went into the locker room not knowing.
Oh, that there was a penalty at the end of that play.
But there's no flag being enforced, though.
Huh.
Okay, so no flag, no penalty. So we just start the second half.
All right, 56-0. Logan Bearfield has it on the tee. He lets this one fly. And this one picked up at the 13-yard line. And up to about the, 29-yard line.
Looked like it was number 14 returning, Landon Gallweiler for Northwestern. As Coach Snyder said, looking to get a lot of younger kids in action tonight. They're going to get a lot of action in the second half.
I remember we always talk about that mercy rule once it goes into effect and how to utilize it. Should go relatively quick. So Chase Akanic, a 5'6", 127-pound freshman, in there at quarterback for Northwestern.
And this is what I think Coach Snyder is going to come out of this with is the number of penalties. He can't be happy with that, and in tighter games, that's going to cost them.
So Akanic will, and I think we're going to see a lot of balls go on the ground tonight. With different guys carrying the football at the same time, and I believe that. When you look at this team, you're going to get a lot of guys. That was Evan Wagstaff. He's a junior. I think he's going to rotate a lot of those players in. At the same time, I don't know how much we'll see in the air, but at the same time, I always say when you're building kids that are younger, I think you and I have been saying this for a long time. They are there to get better, and they need to throw the football as well. And
you're exactly right. Not only do they need to be able to have opportunities to throw the ball, they need to execute, and that's what Coach Snyder's looking for them to do. They're getting a test against a good team, a fast defense right now. So these players are out here. They're trying to prove themselves. They want to get into that starting lineup. that's going to be a tough starting lineup to crack.
Yeah.
But at least maybe they can get themselves into some position where they get some reps, they get some time with that first group.
So 3rd down and 14. See if they go the air here. I think they will. Here comes the pressure. Avoids the first time and then gets taken to the ground.
He was trying to outrun him to the edge, but just didn't have enough. Slattery able to reach out and grab him and bring him down for the sack.
Yeah, Slattery just came flying across.
So this is going to be interesting. What happens with the punting game?
So that's Evan Wagstaff, a junior, set the punt. This is slow materializing here. 4th down and 13 from the 17-yard line as Wagstaff stands at his own 5-yard line. More players coming in for Northwestern. They may have to bang a timeout.
I think they have plenty of time to
Yep,
get
they
this
got
off.
it. Yep, they're good. Still 8 seconds. Here comes the pressure. And this one will roll to only about the 35-yard line or so. Today's third quarter is brought to you by Strategic Benefits One Group in the Lehigh Valley, a premier broker in helping small, medium, and large businesses build a competitive employee benefits package, which includes retirement plan services and managing clients locally, as well as in more than 12 states. Visit their website at strategicbenefitsonegroup.com. We thank them for their continued dedication and support of D11sports.com, Mike Lagoe, and Strategic Benefits One Group. So just like that, even though it was a 3 and out, there's 4 minutes off the clock.
Exactly.
And the first carry in the second half for Northern Lehigh. That was Lipsky.
That was a toss to the near side. And again, just when it looks like there's a little bit of daylight, the Northwestern defense just closes that out.
They'll stay on the ground.
And while this one has gotten away from Northern Lehigh, I think we see that. I think they still are set up to have a successful season. Talking to Coach Tout, he said they were 3-7 last year, and the one thing he stuck with is they lost some close games last year. Last week, they were able to turn that tide, and they were able to win that close game.
Mm-hmm.
So in that 2A division in the District 11, with Catasauqua, with Executive Charter, with Mahanoy, schools like that, I think they're in a position where they can have some success and get into that postseason potentially.
Absolutely. You mentioned that. So
I'm sorry, Minersville.
Right.
Mahanoy's in there, but Minersville, who always has a good team,
and Williams Valley.
Williams Valley. I think there's some good teams in there. That's a good bracket to be in.
Yeah,
that's competitive, and that fits with what they're trying to do. Here it's a matter of you have your 2A school of Northern Lehigh playing against your 3A school of Northwestern Lehigh. Not much of a difference in size, but there's still a difference.
And on the carry, powering forward and going through defenders is Reese Lipsky for a Stu's Tires first down with 5:33 on the clock.
Nice to see Lipsky getting an opportunity here in the second half. The 5'11", 170-pound senior.
So from the 24-yard line, after the first down, 5:09 on the clock, it's 56-0 Northwestern. They will keep it on the ground.
That was number 5, Mason Rothrock, from his fullback position. Northern Lehigh, historically, always known for that running game. Usually a tight end always on the field, sometimes 2 tight ends. Running backs in the I formation. They utilize that fullback strategically at different times. But also, the one thing they're known for, their staple, is the toss to the tailback and then the quarterback becoming a lead blocker up in the hole along with the fullback.
Now the attack on the ground again. And, so while this is going on here, it's seeing they're moving the ball, the schedule for Northern Lehigh, right? And I think we talked about this already, but they're on the road at Penn Argyle. Then they get Palisades, then 2 on the road, Palmerton and Notre Dame, to end the month of September. Then Wilson home, at Catasauqua, and finish with Salisbury and Saucon Valley at home. So the way the schedule is for them, their home and away games are pretty interesting. Is Aiden Oswald gets taken down.
And I agree with you. I think they're set up to kind of flip-flop back and forth, potentially with wins and losses. That back half of the schedule is nothing to sneeze about. Those are some good teams. Saucon Valley playing well tonight against Palisades. I believe they're up 29-0 at this point. Salisbury has an improved team. Catasauqua, first-time starter, over 300 yards last week. So those 3 games alone are going to challenge this Northern Lehigh team. But if they can get to that point and then come out and win some tight ones, I think they put themselves in a position to hit the playoffs.
And there's the first touchdown of the game as Oswald connects to Ryan Zambo for the touchdown from 18 yards.
And that was a time where he did put the ball where he had to. He got it more to the outside. He didn't let it hang on the inside. Got it more to the outside to allow his player to go after the ball. We get another look at it. Oswald drops back. He's looking for Zambo. He still needs to work that ball more towards the sideline, but a much better job. And Zambo coming back and making a play on it and then finishing for the touchdown, 18 yards. So able to get that touchdown for Northern Lehigh to break the ice.
And the extra point is up and good, 56-7. So one thing I always say, and you've coached for a long time and you realize it too, when you're getting blown out and nothing's going your way, and you continue to fight and battle. That's what athletics is all about. That's what football is all about. You try to get back and do something. You come in out of the locker room, and Coach Tao is saying, "Listen, let's punch one in. Let's do something here," because it gets you ready for next week. It gives you a little confidence. This game's really in the books, but you got to play hard the whole way through. And you said it before. There's other players right now are getting some looks, and they're working into play as well.
And it's going to allow them to see also what kind of depth do they have. They have these second-team guys. They have the guys that are not quite first team, but they're right there. What are they doing in this game? How are they performing? What kind of energy are they bringing? And I think you're seeing Aiden Oswald. He wants to run this offense. He wants to lead that offense. And the offensive line is trying to sustain blocks. It's just a matter of can they continue and be consistent with what they're doing.
That one was picked up by Landon Gullweiler, and Gullweiler gets it all the way back to midfield.
And Gullweiler showing himself as a pretty good punt or kick returner, the freshman. I know Northwestern, this freshman group coming in for Northwestern, had a chance to see them last year when they were playing middle school. They're a very talented freshman group. So I think, we talked beginning of the game, and Tegan hit it on her interview with Coach Zimmerman, right? What's making this community so successful? And I think Jason Zimmerman hit it on the head. These kids want to play for each other. Mm-hmm. Communities like Northwestern Lehigh, Northern Lehigh, and as I asked you, the sports programs around here at Northwestern, from an early age, they play together all the way up. So they get that tight-knit community in it, and that's something that can always beat talent every once in a while. Sometimes you reach a talented team, and you just can't change the results of it. But for the most part, I think that's what led them to the state final last year. That's what's going to lead this Northwestern team deep into the playoffs again this year. They play for each other. They're that tight-knit group. They're like brothers on the field. You know, you see the same thing with Northern Lehigh, same type of community, same type of culture. That goes a long way.
No doubt about that. That was Lakatosh on the last carry, and Lakatosh getting a couple carries here in the second half. This one from the start, you mentioned the defense. I mean, Tegan said it. I mean, you're scoring before. We saw the highlights. I mean, they're special teams, offense, defense, everything that you need to do, you're scoring on.
And like I said, I think the only negative we take away from this game are the penalties for Northwestern. That's probably the only thing that's been an issue for them.
You know, I try not to listen while I'm broadcasting to listen to another broadcaster like Tony Sabilla from
I heard him too, but I wasn't going to say anything.
But, you know,
I'm not jinxing us either.
You know, I'm walking over to Tony Sabilla right now and telling Tony, I know Tony can hear me over there. You know, he's talking about rain. I'm like, he's got to pipe it down on that little broadcast over there, Tony. Come on now.
Yeah, we have to get through this.
Tony and his team do a great job, no question about it.
And I wasn't going to say anything. I let the play go. But I was going to say that likely was going to be our last play of the third quarter.
Well, now we can talk
we
Tony.
Luckily got that.
Yeah, we got through there. All right, through 3, 56-7. You're watching our D11sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke Sports Medicine.
We are so proud that we won our Top Workplaces Award 2 years in a row.
We are, without question, the #1 health system in this valley. Every award we get demonstrates that every day, over and over and over again. And who gets the credit for that? Our employees.
They continually show up committed and dedicated to our patients, our families, our communities, and each other.
St. Luke's is the Lehigh Valley's only locally based independent healthcare network, proudly serving our community for over 150 years. St. Luke's continues to be the only local healthcare system to be named to the 100 top hospitals list, to have earned the most A grades for quality and safety from the Leapfrog Group, and to have received 5-star ratings from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. St. Luke's, the proudly independent healthcare you trust.
We are back, 4th down and 5. Al DiCarlo, Matt Avancho, Tegan Tremba, Dave Micah. And here comes the pressure, and that ball is just tossed at the last second, incomplete. You know, we were talking about the Northern Lehigh schedule. What about the Northwestern Lehigh schedule? They go 2 on the road, at Bangor and then at Blue Mountain. Blue Mountain's a much improved team. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a battle. Then they get Lehighton home. Lehighton, obviously, you know, they're getting better. They had a tough loss last week. And then a huge matchup on the 27th.
I just was looking at that.
At North Schuylkill.
To
and then you get Pottsville.
Start the second half of the season, you open up the second half of the season at North Schuylkill, right? And that's not an easy place to play. However, I think you have to favor Northwestern going into that game. But like you said, then you follow it up with Pottsville. Then you have Jim Thorpe. Then you're at Tamaqua, and the big one looming at the end, Southern Lehigh. So a tough, brutal back half of the schedule for them.
So 1st down and 10 from the 47. And carry by Noah Gossert, the 5'5", 130-pound junior.
And as we talked about, Northern Lehigh sticking to their game plan, going back to some basic plays, basic offense for themselves in the second half, just to try to create some consistency, try to create some confidence, and get something going. You have Garrett Smoyer back in the game at quarterback, so he's running things as well as Aiden Oswald. At some point, though, I think Coach Tout has to make a decision. Now that Smoyer's healthy, where are you going, and then what are you going to do with the other one? Because you need that athlete on the field.
Yep.
You need them both on the field somewhere.
And I think, Schmoyer will probably be the guy, because then you have a chance to use Oswald, maybe in a different position that he can utilize his athleticism a little bit more too, and get open, get some passes, and make some things happen here. And looking at their schedule, it's interesting because there's wins on that schedule, and they're a good football team. It's just Northwestern, they're very good.
Northern Lehigh unfortunately came in and met a huge match tonight, and I think we could sit here and say that week to week with a lot of teams that are coming in here to play Northwestern. It's not the fact that it's Northern Lehigh. It's just that it's Northern Lehigh tonight.
Correct. Carry by Caden Quinones, the 5'9", 145-pound junior. And it's fourth down. But this game, man, I tell you, in that 5-minute span, so many things happened. It was unbelievable.
And we mentioned that too, not to go back too much to last year, but our last game here last year, it was very similar. Northwestern was able to get on Southern Lehigh quickly.
Yep.
And then when you're able to do that, you take teams completely out of their comfort zone. You take them out of their game plan, and now all of a sudden you have a team just reaching and scratching for things, and you're just playing loose. And that's a tough thing to go against.
No question. Good look at Noah Gossert, who got that Stu's Tires first down. Coach Snyder talked about media day, and he talked about, knowing that the bullseye's on their back and everything else, and they're fine with that, right? But when you look at their schedule and you see that, that back half, like you said, North Schuylkill, Pottsville, Jim Thorpe, Tamaqua, and Southern Lehigh, they have to get through some big-time teams. And knowing when you get to the postseason, that 3A classification is North Schuylkill, is Northwestern. Notre Dame, by the way, scored 70-plus points. Salisbury's there. Saucon Valley's, a better team this year. Tamaqua, Palmerton, Panther Valley, and Pine Grove. So it's an interesting 3A classification.
And you're right. And I think when you look at the classifications, we try to say the Lehigh Valley, we have really good football in the Lehigh Valley. And each classification is a challenge to get through. However, being that I'm not a coach anymore, I can look at some of them and say, yeah, some of them are a little bit more challenging than others for these teams to get through. Again, Coach Snyder does a great job. He told the kids early on, I thought it was a great interview he had, where he mentioned, we are not last year's team. Mm-hmm. You are not them. They're gone. You are a new team. You need to set your own course, create your own path. And I think that's a great approach that the kids are dialed into, and I think they're going to show they can be their own team, and they can set their own destiny.
Well, I tell you what, right now, I'm loving watching Noah Gossard here. He goes one direction, comes back the other direction, and moves his way forward for some positive yards.
Exactly, and you mentioned it, Coach Tout bringing out the Northern Lehigh Bulldogs. They need to fight the rest of this game, and I think we haven't seen anything out of them that shows that they're not fighting. Mm-hmm. They've been doing the same thing and going the same way all game long. And I think that's a credit to coaching staff, keeping them locked in to this game and what they're trying to pursue down the road.
So Schmoyer staying in there at quarterback. And they attack on the ground. That was Mason Rothrock on the carry. So it'll be change of possession here. When realistically, Northwestern with a first down here could really run out this clock.
They could.
St. Luke's is the region's only varsity team in sports medicine. Our team offers the most comprehensive advanced treatment for athletic injuries, including athletic training, sports performance for individual and teams, chiropractic, sports psychology, sports nutrition, physical therapy, and more. St. Luke's provides sports medicine services for more than 60 schools and cares for almost 40,000 student-athletes in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. No matter your sport or position, we train you to avoid injury and get you back on your feet and back in the game. The game is changing, and St. Luke's Sports Medicine is changing it. Right at the 5-minute mark. And they keep it on the ground. That's Kendall Weichert. And Weichert will get a Stu's Tires first down. So Weichert standing in at 5'9", 134-pound freshman. Tonight's game brought to you by Digital Scoreboards, your leader in video scoreboard displays. Keep your eye on the game and the score with digital scoreboards, where every moment matters. Proudly serving Lehigh Valley District 11, where every score and play shines bright. Coming to the near side, and still some space here for Sakanik. And Sakanik will get another Stu's Tires first down.
And Sakanik had the defense completely fooled as he had the ball in number 20, Colin Stringer's stomach as he's coming across, but then pulls it out and calls his own number down the right side and picks up the first down.
And they keep it on the ground, and right, a burst through the middle. Let's see on that carry.
I believe it was Colin Stringer again, another part of that freshman group for Coach Snyder.
5'7", 162. Sakanik with a man in motion. Another Stu's Tires first down, and it goes to Stringer again. Stringer pops through the defense, still on his feet, still pushing forward, and gets down to about the 20-yard line for Stu's Tires first down. So a good drive here for Northwestern. On the ground, Landon Goldweiler. He gets crunched up. So, Matt, 2:30 left in this game, and obviously there's a lot of takeaways when it comes to, Northwestern. But you've been talking about the takeaways that Northern Lehigh. They battle, they fight. Joe Tout, his coaching staff, Slatington, the pride of the Bulldogs, everything that they have. We look at their schedule and we see a team that's going to be pretty productive.
I think they're going, like we said, as we talked off the air, I think they're going to be right there in the thick of things in that two-way playoff bracket. It's just they need to, one, stay healthy, which all teams do. You want to see them stay healthy. But then they also need to continue to stay true to their course, true to what they're trying to do culture-wise, what they're trying to do as a team and as a unit, trying to get them moving in that direction. And I think they'll be in there. And then we always say, as a coach, it's just a matter of getting in. If you can get in, anything can happen.
Jesse Yenser, the sophomore, with that carry and another Stu's Tires first down. And they'll pitch this one back. And escaping is Colin Stringer. And then the ball gets loose. And it's on the ground. They battle for it. And it's Northwestern's ball here with 1:16 on the clock.
And the Northern Lehigh defender didn't quite catch his number, but he saw the ball and nothing but green grass in front of him. So Northwestern has to run one more play. You would think at this point, do you just take a knee?
Yeah, I think they're going to. Again, you got these younger players that have been battling with the varsity players, with the starters every time. And they will right there. So the Tigers will win 56-7 as they control this one from the start and really battle forward. So Northern Lehigh will go on the road again next week at Penn Argyl. It'll be a long week for them because they don't play till Saturday. So it's like a bye. So they go from here to to next Saturday. That's a long time to wait.
That absolutely is.
And then it will be at Bangor for Northwestern Lehigh.
I'm interested to hear what Coach Snyder's comments are after the game. Obviously, he's got to be happy with the result. But also at this point, where's the focus at for him? What is he seeing that they need to do to improve upon?
Well, Coach is going to go talk to his players first, as he does. See how good Dave is here, because, wow, they turned the scoreboard off. Jason Zimmerman.
Saving electricity.
I don't know what happened there. That was quick. 56-7. There you see the celebration first. I like seeing the scoreboard up for like 2 hours afterwards.
That's your tax money.
Until I walk to the car.
Those are your taxes at work.
So they're talking down there, and I'll take you through the scoring here one last time until we get them situated. They'll start off with a 43-yard punt return from Eli Zimmerman, made it 7-0. That was at the 9:25 mark of quarter number one. At the 5:54 mark, a 20-yard interception return by Eli down to the 12-yard line. Then with 5:17 on the clock, it led to a 9-yard touchdown from Lay to Zimmerman, made it 14-0. An interception by Seth Kern at the 40-yard line. Then a 29-yard touchdown run by Eli Zimmerman, made it 21-0. Michael Legoe also had an interception at the 42-yard line. It was 21-0 after one quarter of play. To the second, a 60-yard touchdown run by Eli Zimmerman, and that was the one that he laid down a defender and just kept on going, which kind of surprised everyone, including us up here. Then a 59-yard punt return by Seth Kern. That came at 9:57 on the mark, made it 35-0. Briar Reichert to the 7-yard line, almost scoring off a fumble recovery. He didn't, but that ended up being Shane Lay with a 6-yard touchdown run, 42-0. Then Schmoyer was intercepted by Brady Zimmerman at the Northern Lehigh 40-yard line. A 43-yard touchdown Lay to Landon Madsen, made it 49-0. And then Shane Lay to Seth Kern, 26 yards for the touchdown, made it 56-0. And final score in this one was 56-7 after Aiden Oswald connected with Ryan Zambo from 18 yards. And down to the field, and we go with Tegan Tremba. Tegan?
All right, we're here again with Coach Snyder. Coach, how do you feel about how some of the obviously got to put some of the less experienced players? How do you think they did in the second half?
To be honest with you, I was a little disappointed. We gave up some fourth downs on defense, and when we got the ball, it took us to our third drive to get a first down. They practice hard, and it was their opportunity. They'll get better. They're just young guys getting out there and getting Friday night experience. So, overall, I'm pleased with the effort. I thought tonight was great, and our kids played hard. It was fun to watch them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and obviously big win this week in a rivalry game. So, how do you think this game will prepare you for next week?
Yeah, we're just getting the early part of the season going. We're in 2 weeks right now. You're 2-0, right where we want to be. we're fighting hard to play our best game each and every week. We have Bangor on another short week on Thursday. I'm looking forward to going up to Bangor. We never seem to play well up there on the grass, and we're looking to turn that around a little bit and play our best game of the season on Thursday night.
Good luck, and thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Tegan. And we'll throw it back down to Tegan as she has Eli Zimmerman as well.
All right, here with our player of the game, Eli Zimmerman. Eli obviously had a big game, 4 touchdowns in the first half. What were your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, I mean, our execution in the first half was stellar. Coach Snyder said after the game he's probably seen the best. That was the best execution a team has had in a while here in all 3 phases. I mean, we had, 2 punt return touchdowns, a lot of rushing touchdowns, some passing touchdowns. So it was a great performance by all of us.
And obviously, big rivalry game. What was the energy out there on the field? I saw some tension going out there, some extra subs after the play.
Yeah, I mean, the rivalry game, it's always a big thing around here, especially if the opponent's that close, just down Mountain Road from us. So, I mean, we just had to come out firing. Every team's going to have we're going to have a bullseye on our back. Every team's going to give us our best punch. So, we just have to take that out into consideration and come out each week firing.
And obviously it's very important to get some of the less experienced players in the second half. So what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's always good in games like this to get the young guys some work. That's the future of this program. This year we have a lot of seniors compared to last year. I think we have 12 or 13. So getting that younger experience now in these types of games is really good for them.
All right. Good luck next week, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, great job down there by Tegan. She's asking all the right questions.
Absolutely. Wow.
I was impressed by that. That was a great job by Tegan. She's one of our student reporters from Parkland, does a great job. Obviously, the sister of Trey Tremba, who's over at Army right now.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Tegan.
Here we go.
Trey and Ty are the brothers of Tegan Tremba.
Got it.
She comes first.
Okay.
Come on, fix that.
All right. See, I fixed that. Anyway, great job by Tegan down there, and a great job by Dave Micah actually down there. Getting them right away. Dave actually working tonight, so that's a good job.
Yeah, how about that?
I'm impressed. Great job by our crew as well. And yes, and Tegan again.
She's going to come up here and just deck you.
Yeah.
She'll take you down on the field and wrestle you for halftime next game.
Yeah, that's right. She's a wrestler now. Sean Riley and his team doing a great job. 56-7, your final score. I want to thank Jason Zimmerman. I want to thank everyone here at Northwestern Lehigh for their hospitality. Final score, once again, 56-7. Northwestern Lehigh wins this one from Matavancho. I'm Al DiCarlo. I'm done here.
You're nervous.
Enjoy
You're nervous.
Hey, see, she's going to put me down in a cement job or whatever. I don't know. 56-7, your final score. You're watching our D11sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke Sports Medicine. Have a great night.